Venkman? Venkman!
Disgusting blob.
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt him.
Hi there, all my Ghostbusters fans, and welcome back to another Ghostbusters Afterlife video. In this video, I'll be catching you up for everything you need to know about the Ghostbusters Afterlife that's coming out next week on the 19th of November. Mark that in your calendars. Now, basically, I have to film this a second time because the first time I filmed it, I didn't know about the final trailer that came out. So, literally, after I stopped filming, I refreshed my YouTube page, and the final trailer was there. So, I've kind of re-edited my script a bit to add some parts with the final trailer in. If you're interested into a particular part, I've put timestamps down below in the description, and you'll be able to see it in the red bar, which is actually called the scrubber bar. YouTube said it themselves. So you can be able to skip to that, but if you do, you'll be ashamed of. So watch the entirety. It'll really make my day. Another thing that would make my day is if you could subscribe and like. So if you just take your mouse, click on the subscribe button and click on the like button, it would mean a lot to me. So let's quickly do this, so this video doesn't have to be an hour long. So let's start off the plot of the movie. On IMDb, one of two sites where you probably get the score for your favourite movie, the other being Rotten Tomatoes. I do say tomatoes, I am English, not tomatoes. Basically on IMDb, the description on the movie says, when a single mum and her two kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connections to the original Ghostbusters and their secret legacy their grandfather left behind. Now, in this movie, we'll be following the grandkids of one of the Ghostbusters, and that Ghostbuster is Egon Spengler, played by Harold Ramis. Now, our problem is he won't return in this film since he died in 2014, so he will not be able to show up in this film as all the other Ghostbusters, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Now, after Ghostbusters 2, Egon Spengler probably just moved all the stuff and just put it in this farmhouse with all the Ecto-1, even the suits as we see in like the first trailer. So he just moves everything to Somerville. I think the town's called Somerville. Please just show a clip from the first trailer where they say the name.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Now, you might be wondering the cast of the movie. And if you're not wondering about the cast, well, good for you. This is just the cast anyway. You can skip ahead, but just remember, you will be a skipper. No one likes a skipper. So the cast of this film is Finn Wolfhard, the guy in Stranger Things, who plays Trevor, and McKenna Grace as Phoebe. These are the two grandkids of Egon Spengler. Their mother is called Callie, and she's played by Carrie Coon. You also see this kid who seems to be friends with Phoebe, who is called Podcast, and he's played by Logan Kim. And finally, you have Paul Rudd's character, who seems to be their teacher, who plays a character called Mr. Gooberson. Mr. Gooberson is probably a name that fits this Ghostbuster franchise. Now, who will be the villain for this movie? Now, normally, in the other Ghostbusters movies we've seen, there are two antagonists. One is a government official, like a lawyer of some sort, you know, shown in the thing. And the other is like a Greek god or something, or ancient god, as we saw. Now, the villain of this will be Gozer from the first movie. Now, how do you summon Gozer? With Pterodogs, not Demodogs. I did say Demodogs in the short I made. You need two Pterodogs to prepare for the summoning of Gozer. Now, the Pterodogs find a gatekeeper and a keymaster. Now, Dana Barrett, who's played by Sigourney Weaver. Now, Dana Barrett was was a gatekeeper, I think, and Rick Moranis' character was the keymaster. Or it might have been the other way around. I don't remember it. Does it really matter? Now, in this film, I think it's going to be the mother of the two grandkids, played by Carrie Coon, who's called Callie, and Paul Rudd's character, Mr. Gooberson. They're going to be the gatekeeper and keymaster. Now, a question you probably ask in the most important question of this video is if Slimier will be in the movie. And he has to show up for a cameo. We haven't seen him in any of the trailers, but if we don't get Slimier, we do have a replacement for Slimier. The first ghost they will catch in the movie will be this ghost called Muncher. We've seen this before. He shows up in the very first trailer in the background, and throughout the trailers we see more and more of him. Now, in the scene when they're fighting Muncher, you see they're using a ghost trap on a remote control car, which is really smart. Props to them. Talking about returning characters, let's talk about Stay Puft. Stay Puft will return, but as a marshmallow. Wait, he is a marshmallow in the original. No, he will return as mini marshmallows, as we've seen. Talking about returning characters again, let's talk about the original Ghostbusters, and they will return. Confirmed by 2 trailers. Literally at the end of the last trailer, you hear Bill Murray saying,
"Hey, have you missed us?"
And I missed you. That was like emotional goosebumps sort of thing. And then you heard the classic Ghostbusters soundtrack, which you never heard in the first 2 trailers. But in the 3rd trailer, you had the Ghostbusters soundtrack. So, Ghostbusters Afterlife will release on November 19th. Now, before we end this video, I'd like to talk about if they will make a sequel to this, or if they will expand the Ghostbusters franchise even more. I want to say yes, they need to. It's Hollywood. If this movie is going to be good, they make sequels. If this movie makes money, they make sequels. Now, I hope they actually make a show, which is like the Ghostbusters Incorporation, which is like maybe Ghostbusters Kids. I don't know, but like new set of a new characters of Ghostbusters. Maybe not set in New York, maybe set, I don't know, in California, maybe not California, in like a town or another city. So maybe have Canadian Ghostbusters, or you could have French Ghostbusters. I don't know, English Ghostbusters, you could have Ghostbusters in London. How do you think they should expand the Ghostbusters franchise? Tell me in the comments below. I have been Bramir Sushi. I am still Bramir Sushi. I hope you are ready. I hope you are now ready for Ghostbusters Afterlife coming on November 19th. We'll see you next week. Adios.